Hello and welcome to Amigos IAS. I am Adnan. In a significant news of international relations, the Sultan of Oman, Haitham bin Tariq, is on a 3-day visit to India. So he has been accorded ceremonial welcome by the President and the Prime Minister, and this visit is quite significant for India. Let's try to understand India-Oman relations in this backdrop. So starting with the first point here, this visit is important because an unfortunate death happened 2020. The Sultan of Oman, Sultan Qaboos, who has ruled Oman from 1970 to 2020. 50 years, 5 decades of his rule came to an end because of his death. He was a very dear friend of India. And after his death, this visit of Sultan Haitham bin Tariq assumes a lot of significance. So let us try to understand the areas of convergence between India and Oman and why this visit is significant to India. So starting with the basic first point is that when Narendra Modi became the Prime Minister, he has embarked on foreign tours for various countries, and most of which have been the first visits of India. And in his outreach towards the West Asia, he also visited Oman in 2018, where some important agreements were signed on trade, defense, and security. So these form the most important areas of cooperation between India and Oman. Okay, trade, defense, and maritime security, I can say. So this is an important development here in India-Oman relations. What about the historical aspect? Yes, India has historical cultural relations with many countries in the world, which also includes the West Asian countries like Oman as well. So till 5,000 years, we can trace the civilizational ties between India and Oman. And diplomatic relations established in 1955. In 53, formally they will try to establish, and embassies are established in 55, very important point. And this will reach till the level of strategic partnership in 2008, very important partnership it is. And this, in the Gulf region, India needs allies. So Oman is a very important strategic partner for India in this Gulf region. It is a key pillar of India's West Asia policy. Oman is also an interlocutor. Okay, it helps as a dialogue partner. Okay, in the Gulf Cooperation Council, it is a member. Arab League, it is a member. Indian Ocean Rim Association, and also Organization of Islamic Cooperation, which usually is giving reports mostly to criticize India and is seen as close to Pakistan. So in these groups, Oman is a member, and it helps India because Oman is sympathetic towards India, and Oman is helping India as an interlocutor in these regional groupings. And also, the two countries across the Arabian Sea are linked by geography, history, and culture, and have very cordial relations. Maritime trade linkages are there, and intimacy of royal family. Sultan Qaboos has been educated in India. He has the royal family of Oman always had very close ties with India. This is an important driver in India-Oman relations. Okay, and see here, Indian expatriate community, almost around 7 lakh Indians also are living in Oman, who also play an important role in building the good relations with the Oman government. Fine. So Oman is the closest neighbor in the Arabian Gulf, as we understand. And now important point is the Omani ports, because it's a coastal area is there, and ports are there in Oman which actually help India. We will read more on that about the Dukhm port. Okay, and see here, along the Arabian Sea as well as the Gulf of Oman leading into the Persian Gulf and towards the Gulf of Aden, Oman's location is of utmost strategic importance to India. So let us see the map here. So this is India's western coast, and here it is Oman, and Oman is a very important gateway for India in the West Asia, as it starts from here. And you can see these important sea lanes are there where India's oil imports also come. Fine. So this is the Persian Gulf, Gulf of Oman is there, and here you can find the Strait of Hormuz. This blue color, as you can see, Oman is not just still here. It also extends, okay, not contiguous zone, it also extends here at the Horn. Okay, so this Horn, what you can see here, and there, this is the very narrow sea lane, as you can see in this particular place. So this narrow sea lane, here it is called as Strait of Hormuz, where 1/5 of India's oil imports come. And Oman has to make sure with Iran that these sea lanes are actually safe. Iran is here. So this is an important vital strategic zone for India. India's imports come from here, our exports also go from here. And The other aspect is we need to safeguard these sea lanes. So here Oman is a key important partner, gateway to the West Asia as well. So significance is there. Now, when it comes to Saudi Arabia, also India has good relations, UAE also, important trading partners as well, and we also take oil from them. So, the trio is there, Saudi Arabia, UAE and Oman forms an important trio of India's strategic partners in the Gulf region. And look at this interesting quote by Sultan Qaboos, who has studied in India and had great ties with India. While other Gulf Arabs prefer to get on a camel and go west into the Arab desert, Omanis, instead of going to the desert, they prefer to be on board and drift towards India. That is a very good statement given by Sultan Qaboos, shows the importance they gave to India. As the people to people tie level too also, India also, Oman has very good relations, as we have just understood. Very vibrant community of diaspora is there in Oman. And this is the map as we can see. And next one, key areas of strategic partnership. So as we have understood, defense, trade, maritime security as the important components. So when we talk about defense and security arrangements, so what is here? The important point is we have signed an MOU in 2005 with Oman. We have some important exercises going on with Oman. It's the first Gulf country with which India, all wings of India's defense, Air Force, Army, Navy, they all hold joint exercises. Names can be asked in prelims exam. With Army, it is Al-Najah, and in Air Force, it is Eastern Bridge, and Nasim al-Bahar is there in the naval exercise. The names are important for the prelims perspective. These three, okay, India's major defense pillars, all of these exercises happen with Oman. Very interesting point here that shows the seriousness of the relations between India and Oman. The ministries of defense of both countries also review their relations annually by the name of Joint Military Cooperation Committee meeting. Since 2008, Oman has been extending its support to Indian Navy's anti-piracy mission for the safeguarding of those sea lanes, and Indian naval ships are regularly welcomed by Oman whenever we go for overseas deployments, our ships. Okay, and another important point. Since 2012-13, an Indian naval ship has remained on duty in the Gulf of Oman always for anti-piracy operations. They allow Indian ships to be staying in those waters. Oman allowed overflights or transit by Indian military aircrafts as well. That is the permission they extend to India. In recent years, both countries have made sure that maritime security remains very important component in the Indian Ocean region. So see how much stronger the maritime links are there between India and Oman. Oman also sought India's assistance in the fencing of the border it shared with Yemen, where the war was going on when Saudi Arabia-led coalition was bombing Yemen a lot because of this Shia Houthi rebels and coming to control in Yemen. As we understand, Saudi Arabia starts pounding Yemen, and lot of crisis happens in Yemen. Almost 1.5 lakh people have been killed so far in this tragedy. And here some issues were going on, the infighting and rebels were coming into this Yemen. And here this border is there, right? So this, India was trying to help Oman to build a wall over here, fine, to fence off the Oman. That is one thing. Now let us come to next component, it is the economic component. Of course, comparing to other countries, the volume of trade is not so high, but because Oman is strategically placed and it also gives oil to India, it becomes an important trade partner as well. So see here, bilateral trade has reached $12 billion and joint ventures in Oman between India and Oman is 6,000 ventures, which is not a joke. Okay, estimated investment is around 7.5 billion investment is there in this joint ventures. India is the second largest market of Oman's crude oil apart from China. Bulk of the trade goes to oil goes to China. So China and India are the important oil importing nations for Oman. And in October 2022, India and Oman launched the very important RuPay debit card in Oman. Fine, a key footprint of India's initiative of digital public infrastructure, which is very much in news always. That means it is payments, banks, payment mechanisms, payment infrastructure is an important part of digital public infrastructure. So India is also expanding its RuPay cards also in the other countries. So very interesting development here. And what are the India's exports? Some are the common guys, okay. See, mineral fuels, mineral oils and products of their distillation is also exported and imported both from here and India and Oman. Next one is what? Machinery and mechanical appliances. See here, this is important. Iron or steel, electrical machinery, textiles, garments, chemicals, tea, coffee and spices. These are the major, and these things are not new. For centuries, okay, whenever we had trade relations with Oman, maritime relations. These trading already was going on since long. This is not new. Fine. And what India imports from Oman, mostly it is on crude oil, and you can see here aluminium articles, organic chemicals, bituminous substances like asphalt, okay, and mineral waxes, remaining all things which are byproducts of the petroleum industry. That is what we take from Oman. And the next component here, maritime cooperation, already we have just understood. See here, gateway of Strait of Hormuz we have just learned, where India's 1/5 of oil imports come. Oman is a very important partner. We need to secure those Strait of Hormuz, okay, and make sure Iran will not block that pathway. And Oman also participates in a Indian Ocean Naval Symposium, which is a group which also is concerned with the maritime security. India signed a pact with Oman in 2018 to access the Dukhm port of Oman. This is very important because even Chinese presence also is there here in the Dukhm port. Okay, Indian Navy is able to use facilities at this port. It is like India's entry point to the wider West Asia and Eastern Africa, an important development because China has deployed strategic assets in the Indian Ocean region. So as you can see here, this is a very rough map here. This is Pakistan's Gwadar port is there, Oman's Muscat is there, Dukhm is there, Salalah is there, Djibouti is there here. Okay, here of course China also has its presence, has military presence here. And Iran, Chabahar port, India has built in assistance with Iran. And Afghanistan, Chabahar port, which is a gateway for India towards Afghanistan and the Central Asia. And here Pakistan is there, which China also helped in building of Gwadar port. So all this convergence you can see of different ports in this region. So here India has taken what? Got the agreement with Oman to access this Dukhm port, where our military facilities can be there, logistic facilities will be given to India at this Dukhm port. It is gateway for the Eastern Africa as well as the Western Asia. Very important Dukhm port is there. So of course Chinese presence also is there here, and China-Oman relations also very strong. So we need to balance this out, and we need to make sure that China's overtures should not harm India's interest in this region. So Oman is a key partner for India, especially guys after the Middle East economic corridor has come into being. So of course it has not come into operation, but the details are yet to be finalized on that. But it's an important gateway for India to get more and more trade routes. So there Oman can play an important role. So what are the prospects ahead here? They both are looking forward to increase engagement in strategic areas like even space cooperation also, where India is very good. So there is one more area for cooperation. An MOU on this was signed already in 2018 when Prime Minister Modi has gone to Oman. Possibility of agreement on joint exploration of rare earth metals, which are very important for the consumer electronic items. Fine. Could also add strength to the partnership. See how many facets are there. People to people ties, maritime security, trade, defense, space collaborations are there, and then rare earth metals are there. And you can see this important natural gas, India, Middle East, Europe connectivity corridor, as we have seen in the G20 summit. This was launched. Here Oman can play an important partner for us. See here, to link India to Europe across West Asia. And last point is what? This is a private consortium, I can say, where different international companies are participating. South Asia Gas Enterprise. They are trying to build a pipeline, undersea pipeline, okay, linking the West Asia to India also. 1,400 kilometers, or some say 2,000 kilometers, and $5 billion project. That is the significance of this project. Deep sea pipeline, okay, from Oman to India for the transfer of liquefied natural gas, LNG. This corridor, what we have just proposed, is looking at similar undersea connectivity, and there could be convergence on with Oman in future. It means what? When we are trying to increase or have access to natural gas, India imports 80% of its crude oil from the other countries, and India also imports around 50% of its natural gas from other countries. So here, in order to build this pipeline, okay, already many pipelines have been in pipeline, funnily, okay, TAPI is there, IPI is there, Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, IPI is there, Iran, Pakistan, India. These pipelines are in pipelines for a long span of time. Now one more pipeline is proposed here. What is that? Undersea pipeline links Oman and also Iran. That is the thing which is built by International Consortium South Asia Gas Enterprise. So this is also in the pipeline. Let us hope it operationalizes, so we can get easy access to the natural gas as well. So in these areas, India-Oman relationship very important. And also now today's news, agreements, or we can say They are trying to have a framework on SEPA. What is SEPA? Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. That means it is like a FTA, free trade area between India and Oman, because there are some to ease off the customs duties on each other's products. Because free trade area, what it does, it tries to eliminate any kind of trade barriers. So the customs duties, whatever are there, will be relaxed. That means trade becomes quite easier between India and Oman. So a framework has been, has been under the discussion, that even though as of now, as I take this class, it has not been finalized. So, but discussions are going on to frame a FTA between India and Oman, Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. So, let us hope the relations become important. And before I conclude, the important point is, in West Asia, Oman is a very important gateway for us. Both are considered as an ambassador of peace. That means India and Oman both have very good track record. Oman also carefully balances its relations in the volatile West Asian region. That makes it as an important partner for India. It's not like some country which takes sides completely to one country. Let's say, for example, Israel-Palestine issue is going on right now, and there is always tension between USA, Iran, Saudi, Yemen. So all these conflicts will keep on going in the West Asia. Here, Oman plays a very important role, an ambassador of peace, and India also is an ambassador of peace. That is why naturally India and Oman will share a very good affinity, and that makes the relationship quite organic as well. Especially when the royal family has been having great relations with India, India can actually use Oman as an important gateway to reach the Europe as well, with the help of the newly launched Middle East Economic Corridor as well. So in these entire context, we have to see the relations. There is a lot of convergence of interest, and let us hope this relationship will go to the next level as well. Okay, so this is what is the today's topic. If you have any questions, please post in the comments box. I will see you another day with another topic. Keep watching Amigos. Thank you.